welcome. If you're new, my name is Jennifer. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoy this new video. Today I'm participating in series September, hosted by Krista at Books and Jams and Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. And I have 9 prompts that they have created for series of September this year in 2026. And I have a large list of book recommendations for each of the 9 prompts. And so I thought I would share some recommendations of ones that I have read, ones that I have not read and need to get to. I'm excited to participate in this year. It's the first time participating for me, and so I'm excited to jump right in to this conversation. I can't even hold up all of the books that I have for recommendations. I have like 4 stacks over here with me, and then I also have some notes on my computer with the prompts and some notes on which books to share for those that I don't have physically in front of me. And so hopefully I don't forget anything this time. And so yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. It is happening through the whole month of September, and you can participate in this great series extravaganza. So it is a movie theme this year, and so they have some great graphics. If you haven't checked out their announcement video, I would definitely check out Krista's channel, Books and Jams, and I'll have them linked below for the prompts. And so the first prompt is to let's look at the first one. And it is Harry Potter started a series with a young protagonist. And so I have many recommendations besides just the Harry Potter series for you. The first one is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is a great book series. Love it. I've read the first 3 books out. There's 4 books out currently. I actually really love the audiobooks for this series. I get them from the Libby app from the library. And so I would highly recommend even listening to this series if you get a chance. I love him. Amari is a young girl that decides to go to this new school once she realizes she has magical powers, but her brother is missing. And why he's missing is because he's part of this secret agency that she knew nothing about, that the secret society and this whole world has monsters, creatures, all things that go bump in the night. And so she learns about her magic and what happened to her brother as well in this series. And so I would highly recommend it if you have not checked out that series yet. And then moving on to The Keeper of the Lost Cities, how can you not recommend this series if you have not checked it out yet? Krista from Books and Jams highly raves it. It's by Shannon Messenger. It is currently has, it has through 9.5 out, and so the book 10, the last book in the series, comes out next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I want to finish the series, which I'm sure many more people have been fully invested for many more years than I have, and so and wants to see this come to a great conclusion. But there are an 8.5 and a 9.5, and so I believe there's 11 books out now. Is that right? With the half books. So yeah, I would highly recommend this series. Sophie is the main character in this series, and she finds out that she's not human, she's an elf and has some great powers, and she ends up saving the world many times over in this series. She finds family, and it's so good, and I highly love listening to this book series, and it is exclusively on Audible, unfortunately. But I do highly recommend listening to the series if you have Audible. And so I would definitely check this out. This series will come up a few different times in this video today, but I wanted to start off and share that if you have not read that with about a young protagonist. And then moving on to the next recommendation I have for you is the Pages & Co. series. The first book is Book Wonders. This is by Anna James. I've only read the first book in this series, would love to continue this September, and so hopefully I can pick up the next book in this series. But I love all of the illustrations in these books, and so I definitely want to get them in hardcover. Let's see if I can find a good illustration. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to see, and so it's fun to read the imprint for the illustrations. And so yeah, it is about a young girl where she learns that she can book wander. That means that she can go into books and interact with the stories and the characters and then come back out. And so she finds a friend that goes along with her on this journey, and so she lives with her grandparents, and then yeah, her grandparents owns a bookstore. And so it's very cute, very sweet. A quick read for sure, but I would highly recommend this series as well if you have not picked it up. And then moving on to the Goosebumps series. How have you not heard of this series? If not, it is such a quick read and a cute series. R.L. Steins get a little series September, get in that fall mood, that Halloween mood with something cute and fun and not too scary because it's a Goosebumps. It's a middle grade book. This one is the first book, Welcome to the Dead House. I grew up on this series. I loved it so much, and so hopefully maybe I could read some more of these this year during series September. But I would definitely highly recommend it if you want some quick reads and quick wins for some books in series of September. And then moving on to one that was introduced to me in the middle grade March book for I think it was last year, and the first time participating. This is Moon Garden by Michelle A. Berry. This is the start of a series. It is loosely based off of The Secret Garden, but set on the moon in space. And I like a little sci-fi kind of element to things, a little bit darker, a little bit creepier because it's out in space, but always so cute, charming. It's about a school set on the moon, and where plants are poisonous, and so you can't grow them, you can't have any seeds, it is absolutely forbidden. And so what happens when a young girl stumbles upon a secret garden in one of the sub-classrooms laboratories? And so what does that mean? And so people have different magic abilities and different types of magic, and she has a plant magic ability, which that's dangerous, that's illegal. And so how does she work through those issues as well? A very cute series, love it. They go to different other planets, and so in future books, and so just kind of a fun and cute series. I love that I got introduced to that one as well, and highly recommend checking it out. And then moving on to two books that I have not yet read and are beginning of series for me, and I'd love to check out. The first one is 13, which is by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This first book is The Memory Thief. It is about 12-year-old Rosie Oakes' mom is missing. Whatever it is that makes mothers love their daughters all her life, Rosie has known this and turned her to her stories for comfort. Then one night, Rosie decides to throw her stories away forever. An invisible ally helps her discover The Witch Hunter's Guide to the Universe, a book that claims that all the evil in the world stems from 13 powerful, unstoppable witches. One of these, the Memory Thief, holds an insidious power to steal our most precious treasures, our memories. Is it this witch who has cursed Rosie's mother? In the quest to save her mother, and with her bold, loyal friend Germ by her side, Rosie must explore the layers hidden under the reality of everyday life. Is it a reality where ghosts linger as shades of the past? Clouds witness the world, a ladder dangles from the moon, leading to something bigger and more. Here, words are weapons against the darkness, and witch hunters are a rare and bold breed. The knowledge of her beloved stories and is an arsenal in this world. But to unlock their power, Rosie must dare to believe in herself in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. So it sounds really cute, sounds really fun. It is also on the shorter side, but just looks so fun. I believe there are 3 books out in this series already. I had never heard of this series before, and so I love a good witch book, especially a young witch, and so I'm excited to give this a try. Let me know if you've heard of this one before down in the comments below. And then moving on to the next book that I have a recommendation that I have not yet read is one that I picked up at a used, I think, thrift store. It is called The Novice by Taran Mathuro, and it is the first book in the Summoner series. It looks like a fantasy book, and so it just looked really intriguing. It had some magic elements, and he can summon demons, but can he win a war? Fletcher is working as a blacksmith's apprentice when he discovers he has a real ability to summon demons from another world. Subsequently chased from his village for a crime he did not commit, Fletcher must travel with his demon Ignatius to an academy for adepts where the gifts are taught the art of summoning. Along with nobles and commoners, Fletcher endures grueling lessons that will prepare him to serve as a battle mage in the Emperor's war against the savage orcs. But sinister forces infect new friendships, and rivalries are formed at the school. With no one but Ignatius by his side, Fletcher must decide where his loyalties lie. As he soon learns, the fate of the empire is in his hands. And so, yeah, it's the start of a new magic series, fantasy series, and it has school involved, which is also really fun. And so I'm very curious to give this one a try as well. And it has a young protagonist for that first prompt. Yes, we're still on only prompt number 1. Lots of options, lots of things to pick through. And so last but not least, I have The Ruling Class by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a rebranded series by this author. And it says, any problem can be fixed for a price. When Tess Hendricks is sent to stay with her older sister in Washington, D.C., she has no idea that Ivy is the capital's go-to fixer, a person who can make powerful people's scandals disappear with a snap of her fingers. Tess never thought she and Ivy had much in common, but when she enrolls at the exclusive Hardwick school, she soon finds herself thrust in the role of high school fixer, solving problems for the children in the DC elite. The secrets pile up as each sister lives a double life, and their worlds come crashing together when a scandal from the halls of Hardwick reaches the Capitol Hill. And so sounds interesting. I hope it's not too political, but I'm interested in giving this one a try. It's definitely has a school theme, so I much appreciate that one as well. Okay, so those are all of the options and suggestions for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 is The Mummy, based off of the Mummy movies, one of my all-time favorite series. Love The Mummy. It's a all-time favorite, really high up there movies for me. And it says, read a series that's been on your TBR for a long time. So getting to that, the first one is The Grandest Game for me. This is also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a spin-off series from the Inheritance Games series. Once the main character, Avery, she inherits this huge fortune, and so she decides to create the grandest game for people to win a bunch of money. And so these many people participate in and who wins at the end of it. And it is a series that is ongoing, and I love to give the series a try. I love the writing of this author. I can pick it out from others, but it is still easy to read. I just love her writing style, so I'm excited to dive back into this world and enjoy another game story. And so then moving on to another one that I need to get to is The Stranded. This is a dystopian book by Sarah Daniels. It says, the ship is their world. To survive, they must end it. And then so it says, once a luxurious cruise ship is now home to the stranded. For 40 years, they have lived and died on the water. No one is allowed to disembark ever. Esther is 16 and a loyal citizen, working hard for the rare chance to live a life on land as a medic. But her plans are derailed when she saved the injured Nick, a rebel intent on dangerous strategy to liberate the Arcadia. Both are willing to risk everything to reach dry land. But as they become more involved in the rebel cause, they find themselves at the crux of a revolution where the choices will decide the fate of everyone on board. It just sounds really good. I love a dystopian book. I love, hopefully deciding for their lives, and it just sounds really good. It is on the longer side, but I've had this one forever. I just need to pick it up and read it. It just sounds so good. And I think it's like a good moody book. As you can see, like the waters are kind of roaring, and so it just sounds really good for a good September read. And so I'm excited to get to this series as well. And then moving on to one more option of a series that I still need to get to, The Will of the Many by James Islington. I believe that's right. Yes. And so this again is a really long read, and it is book 1 in this series. It is a fantasy series having to do with magic, an elite academy, and those that have more higher on our hierarchy have more magic. And then hopefully he tries to circum that hierarchy and change things up. But I always love a good map. There is some maps in here, and so I'm excited to give this one a try for sure. So I did not do a good job of folding that back in there. So I've heard really good things about this fantasy series. I hope I like it. I might listen to this one on audio. It might be easier to understand some of the names and places and things. And so yeah, I'm curious to know if I'm gonna like this one or not. So that is definitely one that I need to get on to reading. And so moving on to prompt number 3, Groundhog's Day. Read 2 books from the same series going back for another round. And so a great example of this would be The Games Untold. This is part of that The Greatest Game series. It is within that series, but not the next book in the series. And so I'm excited to give this one a try. I've gotten all the Barnes & Noble exclusives of these and just haven't read them. I just need to get to them. I know also like buys the whole series before they've even read it. Yeah, this one for sure, because I know I love this author's writing. And so, and then this is the next book in the Greatest Game series. This is Glorious Rivals. And just look how gorgeous this cover is. And I'm sure there's probably some like hidden nods to what's going on in the book on these covers and some things like that. So those are 2 books that I want to continue on in those series for sure. And then of course I want to continue on with the Pages and Co series. I don't have the fairy tales, what's it called? The Lost Fairy Tales is the next book in the series, but I have books 3 and 4. I have books 1, 3, and 4. So I need to pick up a book 2, the Lost Fairy Tales. But then this is like book 3, the Map of Stories. Again, it's so cute. I love all of the like illustrations and things. And so I'm excited to jump back into this series as another option to continue on as well. And then moving on to the next prompt number 4, Empire Strikes Back. Read the second book in a series. So if I get to the first book, The Novice, in the series, I'd like to quickly jump into the second book, The Inquisition. I picked both of these up at the same time when I was thrifting. And so this is the next book in the series. I'm not going to continue on and say what this one is about because I don't want to spoil anything from the first book since I haven't read it yet. But again, I just like cool covers. Look at those weapons. It just looks deadly. And it looks like a forest. Yeah, just looks very cool. So I'm excited to hopefully jump into that second book as an option as well. And then moving on to Jenny Colgan. If you've read any of her books, she writes a lot of bookstore books, but she has this really cool series that I started in here in August. And so I am doing a back to school vlog where I am reading books that has set in schools and institutions and things like that, and with young people. And so the first book, The School by the Sea, it was about a new teacher at a boarding school, and it follows her and then 2 students. And so in this book, the rules at the School by the Sea, mouthful, continues on in this series and follows that same teacher and also some more additional students in this kind of found family. And so I'm excited to continue on in this series, and it's just like a short, quick, cozy read, and it's just like a nice change of pace. It reads really quickly, so I'm excited to jump back into this series as another option. I'd recommend checking out this one if you're interested in something sweet, back to school, something charming, something quiet, and it's set at a boarding school, and it's just cute and cozy, and I really like that series. And so that is some recommendations for The Empire Strikes Back, reading that second book in a series. I'm like further along in a lot of series, and so it was really hard for me to find the second book, but hopefully those are some good recommendations for you to check out if you're interested, or get you thinking about some additional options that maybe you didn't think of in the first time when you're thinking through these prompts as well. And moving on to prompt number 5, The Never-Ending Story. Read a long series, 5+ books. And so starting off with, of course, talking about The Keeper of the Lost Cities. You know, that is one of, like, I think I talked about how many books in the series. I think there was 11, I think. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend Keeper of the Lost Cities as a series with more than 5 books in it. And then also The Book Wanderers as well. And these are also quick reads. This is another good recommendation if you haven't finished out this series. You can maybe jump back into this one to get it finished. Would be a great thing to do. And then also talking about some more series as options. We have Dungeon Crawler Carl. as well. There are 8 books out now in this series. Yes, this is not magic related. It is not young protagonist related. It is still kind of sci-fi fantasy related. So there's kind of a theme throughout a lot of the books that I'm sharing. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend checking out Dungeon Crawler Carl if you love humor, found family, the end of the world, gaming, and just like turn-based, role-based, achievement-based. It's just so much fun. It's about Carl and his cat Donut that now can talk and has her own abilities, and the found family that they get up to and go through this dungeon together to try and survive the different levels to then be able to get out. And so yeah, I'd highly recommend that one if you have not checked out that one yet. Also, which is a surprising one, is the Hunger Games series, now with the 2 additional books, point 5 and point 0, however you want to say that in the Hunger Games series. That is 5 books in the series, and so it would count if 5 or more books. So if you haven't checked out the Hunger Games series or checked out either of the 2 prequels now, I would recommend either checking out either one of these. And so I loved the Hunger Games series. It's still one of my all-time favorite series. Yes, I loved both of the prequels as well. I loved Haymitch's story. Oh my goodness, that just so makes the books read a little bit differently now that I've gotten more of his backstory and why he is the way that he is. So that was very intriguing as well. All right, and then one more series, a new one that I'd like to bring up that I have not read yet. It is the Timeless series by Gabrielle Meyer. This is the first one, When the Day Comes. I really want to get to this series. It's on the top of the list. I think the next series that I want to try, and hopefully in series September. I've heard amazing things about these. I still can't find these. I found these at a Goodwill, the first 2 books in the series anyway. And so these have now 7 books out in this series. So again, if you're reading this series and have kind of put it down, this is your opportunity to continue on with this series as well. But it is about how will she choose, knowing all that she must sacrifice. So she kind of lives 2 different lives and then has to decide which life that she actually wants to continue living in. And so yeah, it just sounds really interesting. A new take on some historical fiction. So yeah, another genre to check out and try. Yes, I do read a wide variety of genres and things. I just want a good story. And so it doesn't matter what genre it's in, as long as it's compelling, gripping, keeps my attention, and I feel something for the characters in the story, I will read it. And then moving on to as well, prompt number 6, Ocean's 11 reads a series featuring a group or found family. Again, that is a lot of these books are found family. The Hunger Games, Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Book Wanderers, Keeper of the Lost Cities. Like all of these are all kind of found family options for sure. But continuing on with ones that we haven't talked about yet, The Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a spicy romance fantasy series set in the fairy world, in that set of fairies. And yeah, when a Frey ends up killing a wolf in the woods, ends up being that it is a Frey, which is actually illegal to kill one of the fairies. And so yeah, so just how she develops friendships and how she survives in this world where she had lived in the human world prior to this. And it ends up being a romantasy series. So there's some romance, some fantasy, some fighting, some politics. It's very interesting, very intriguing. I did listen to the whole series to help me know the different how to say the pronounced different characters' names and places and locations. I did highly recommend listening to this series if you can. And so then moving on to yet another one, Small Town Big Magic. This is also found family. This is by Hazel Beck. This is about 2 sisters, and when they graduate from high school, they are tested to see if they have enough magic to live in the community that they're in. If not, they have the choice to stay in the community but stripped of their magic, and they lose their memory of ever having magic, or they're banished to live outside of the town and never come back, and they cannot use their magic. And so one sister decides to have their memory stripped and stay in town, and one decides to leave the city. But then what happens when a big catastrophe happens and they come back together to basically save the world? And so the friends that they have, the relationship that they build, and the things that ensues. It's a great series. It's cozy, it's fun, it's magic. And so I like that theme right now. It's a big interest to me, and so I'd recommend that series if you have not checked that one out yet. I did read that one physically. And then moving on to prompt number 7, Toy Story. Continue a beloved or favorite series. I just have one, and I cannot not include Harry Potter. So Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm currently on book 2 and reading the illustrated versions and listening to the audiobook at the same time. So I'm doing an immersive read, and so that way I can check out a lot more of these illustrations as I am going through and listening to it. I don't have to pay attention to every single word as I go. And so yeah, I'm very excited to continue on and reading this series. It is a beloved series. I grew up reading this series. I was out at Barnes & Noble at midnight picking up the next latest release. So definitely a diehard Harry Potter fan. And then, so I definitely would recommend that one for sure, for continuing a beloved or favorite series. And again, a lot of these other books that I've recommended so far, I'd recommend as well, or beloved to continue on with. And then moving on to prompt number 8, Devil Wears Prada. Read a series set around a job or workplace. So, and thinking through that, it's definitely going to be a harder challenge to fulfill. But, thinking of a teacher at a school. And so this series by Jenny Colgan, she is working at a boarding school. This would be recommended for that one, or the Harry Potter series for working at a school set during that time. Anytime that there's a school setting, I would imagine that as a workplace would count. And so that would be some recommendations for that one. But also, I was wondering if Dungeon Crawler Carl would fit with the workplace prompt, because there's many creatures that are working. They're indentured into working these dungeons for many millennia, centuries, things like that. Indentured servants to working the dungeons. And also Carl is working, and all the characters are working through this dungeon to hopefully get out. And so does that count? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree. I think it does. I think this series would count towards a workplace book, but let me know. And so to kind of think outside of that box or that prompt, because that one definitely can be a harder one. And then last but not least, prompt number 9, Back to the Future. Read a series with a time travel element. So I had thought of 2 of them. So I'm wondering if, 3 of them actually, if the Time Turner in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and then, The Prisoner of Azkaban, this book, the 3rd book, if the Time Turner that Hermione wears to get from class to class and is a big element in this book, if that will work for the time travel element. Let me know down in the comments if you agree that this book could count with the Time Turner for that prompt. Or how about, let's see, what was the other one? Oh, the Timeless series. Does that count for time travel? Going back and forth, I think it would. So the Timeless series can also count for that one. But then what do you think about Sophie and the Keeper of the Lost Cities? I won't spoil what ability Sophie gets, but there might be some time travel, time jumping, space jumping opportunities. And so do you think that counts towards the time travel element? Let me know down in the comments if you've read the series, if one of her abilities counts towards that one as well. Well, hopefully you enjoyed some reading options, some reading prompts, and got you thinking about Series 6 September, getting you excited for fall and all the witchy things and all of the charms and fantasy and romance and everything for September. Hopefully this gave you some recommendations recommendations and got you thinking about what you would like to read for September in the comments below. Go ahead and share one book that you are interested in reading for series of September. You just only have to read one to participate, so definitely share that down in the comments below. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'd love the support. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.